Hey, folks, and welcome to the Alone Time Thoughts podcast. Glad to have you here. And, first off, hopefully this doesn't make me look too fat. I want to show off my shirt here. As I mentioned in one of my previous videos, big fan of Chappelle's show. I got my Buck Nastiest Hater of 2000 shirt here. So, it's one of a few unique custom shirts I guess I have. And I've been losing a little bit of weight recently, so I haven't actually worn this one in a while. So hopefully it's fitting okay. Maybe it's still a little too tight for my own liking, but so be it. And I hope you guys enjoy this shirt. I know I'm a big fan. And yeah, let's get to it. Let me just share my screen here with you guys. Let's go ahead. I'm going to show you what's going on. And my apologies immediately go out to Adam, my son. I know he said one of the things he doesn't like is when I do this, because it takes too much time, but I'm going to do it nonetheless. And now he's going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to make this a little bigger here. Let's see if I can make this bigger. So I just want to share this. We got a comment on my last video. I know I'm in a little trouble seeing it here. But we got a comment saying that some of the teachers are not that good looking. I appreciate that, I guess everybody got their own taste. Yeah, but I will respond to the comment, but I do appreciate the comment. Not that good looking, I guess, is the comment we have here. And, I thought some of them were good looking. Maybe not the greatest. I'm going to make myself a little smaller here just so I can share some other things with you guys. One of the things I did want to discuss today is the big, beautiful bill, quote unquote, has been passed. And, it seems, as I've mentioned before, it seems like different people have different opinions on it. Of course, Donald, and everybody who supports Donald on the MAGA left, on the MAGA right, feels it's a great bill. It's going to do great things. Now, some of the things you're hearing are not that great. I tend to agree that if indeed the things are in there that people say are in there, this is generally not going to be a great bill. There's going to be a lot of people struggling. It's going to, of course, help a lot of people, mainly the top probably 3 to 5%, maybe even less, of the population here in America, basically the rich. It's going to hurt a lot of people, especially people who are in need of, medical relief, people who, just need the food that is provided by some of the programs that seemingly will be cut. But, as you can see, this is just one of the things I highlighted here with our president, posting on Truth Social, largest tax cuts in history and a boom economy versus biggest tax increase in history and a failed economy. Now, I don't know what he's talking about. All the statistics, everything you look at say that we've had, before he came into office, our economy was doing great. America as a whole was doing great. But, I guess it's politics. You got to spin it however you need to spin it for yourself to make yourself look good. Now, and again, there's a lot of charts. There's a lot of things I can show. They'll show that not everything he's saying. I don't want to say that, but a lot of things he's saying is BS. He's saying, again, let me finish reading this. What are the Republicans waiting for? What are you trying to prove? MAGA's not happy and it's costing you votes. Now, that's completely not true. All the polls show that MAGA, and Donald Trump and a lot of his policies, I believe all of his policies are actually underwater, tanking. He's tanking. The town halls, you can just tell by the town halls that are actually being held by Republicans, and the ones that are being held by Democrats in red states are just showing that MAGA is very unpopular. The Republicans are just very unpopular, and with the primaries coming up next year. I mean, you know, time of course will tell, but it seems like they're headed for kind of a repeat of history of what happened last time that Donald Trump was in office, where basically all the Republicans got kind of wiped away. It was, I think, the biggest switch from red to blue in history of our country, and we might be looking at the same thing now. Will it be too late? Hard to say, but I mean, just look at this. This is Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski, senator for, I believe, Alaska. Pretty sure, Alaska, indeed. And she's coming out and she's saying this bill is hurting all Americans, and the reason she voted yes on it is because they made concessions for her state. They gave them a SNAP, which is basically food stamps, higher budget for that. They gave her a few things that will just help her state, but she admits that that this is a terrible, terrible bill. When I saw the direction this is going, you can either say I don't like it and try not to help my state, or you can roll up your sleeves. Do I like the bill? No. Many parts of the country, Americans are not going to be, advantaged by this bill. So it seems like Republicans know this is a terrible bill. The fact that they still voted through, is just kind of, disgusting. It's very upsetting. How do you allow yourself as a human being, knowing that what you're voting for is going to just kind of decimate the country, decimate the people? That I know she's not responsible for anybody outside of Alaska technically, but these are your fellow citizens. I mean, yes, I understand Alaska is the state you're responsible for, but as a senator with power, you're technically responsible for the whole country. So it's disgusting. It's just something that you hate to see, and it's just unfortunate we've got here again. Hopefully it's being made a bigger deal of than it actually is, but by the sounds of it, by the looks of it, there might be a lot of people struggling in this country come very soon. There's going to be a lot of people affected by this bill very soon, and it's just very unfortunate that it has come to this. And that's really, I know we got July 4th coming up tomorrow. I'm taping this on Thursday. We got July 4th coming up. I wish everybody has a safe and happy July 4th, and they enjoy themselves, stay safe, stay vigilant, stay hydrated. It's supposed to be hot. Try not to blow up any fireworks in your own hands, even though fireworks are illegal in a lot of states. But either way, be careful whether legal or illegal fireworks. Just have fun. It's really a day to celebrate. It's kind of hard, I understand, maybe for some people after this bill was passed, to be positive and to be able to celebrate. But listen, it's unfortunately out of our hands at this point in time. All we can do is continue to get our voices out there, continue to fight back as much as we can. Once voting for the primary starts, get out there, and get your votes out. They matter more than even your presidential vote. It's just very important to vote, especially if you're unhappy with where things are. There's a chance for change. Doesn't guarantee anything, of course, but it's a chance. And the best thing to do is get out there and try to have your voice heard. Vote for that change. But again, it's just people like this that make it disgusting to kind of see where our country is, the way our system is. It's really unfeasible that this is allowed to happen, that a person votes to push a bill through, and she was the breaking vote. If they didn't make the concessions to give her state more SNAP, and again, I don't remember everything that I believe, as you can see, Medicaid, and and SNAP, but just because there was a concession made for one state, that's kind of very, very strange. I know there were other concessions made just to get this done, to give financing and funding to rural hospitals that were expected to close, or be kind of on the edge of closing once this bill passed. If this bill had been passed at the time, obviously there were still questions about that. So they made some concessions to keep those rural hospitals open, but the concessions in the grand scheme were very small. There's still going to be millions and millions of people who are affected negatively. There's still, according to forecasting being done, there's going to be a lot of people who are literally going to die because of this bill and the way it's structured. Hopefully that is not the case. Of course, we don't want anybody dying because of politics. That is the most ignorant and stupid possible thing you can have in a democratic country, in a country where we the people really have the power. So yeah, let's hope for good things. Celebrate, enjoy your July 4th. Do not let this get you down. Don't really let anything negative in your life get you down. Take advantage, and celebrate. Again, as always, if somebody needs to talk, if somebody just needs a friend for the holiday, or just in general, please feel free to reach out. I'm more than happy to give you my time and talk you through things. There's always an answer. There's always something we can do to make our life slightly better. Maybe not where we want it to be. There's no guarantees for that, but we can always make things slightly better. And sometimes that's just what we need, just to get over the hump. So, as I said, always there. As for us, right now we have no plans. I think we might grill. I know Wifey said we might grill. So, excited about that. And again, I feel like this is kind of small for you guys. I really need to see that. I'm gonna watch the video, and if this is something that's hard to read, I'll work on that for the next video. I can promise you that. That's really it for today. Again, like I said, don't want to take up too much of your time before the holiday. The 3-day weekend starts for most. I understand not everybody gets the 3-day weekend, but for those of you that do enjoy, spend time with your families, spend time with yourself. As I mentioned before, it's always good to give yourself some mental alone time. Just give yourself a mental break in general. Just if it means turning off the TV, turning off the news, getting off your phone, or maybe just watching something that you enjoy, a movie, show, some clips, some shorts, whatever it is that you enjoy. Make that part of your weekend, make that part of your mental health, and I do look forward to talking to you guys probably at this point after the July 4th weekend, maybe on a Sunday. If not, I'll try to get back on Monday. Now, clip of the week, or clip of the day, clip of the week, I wish. Actually, I don't wish. Clip of the day is just fine. I'm more than happy to get on here and talk to you guys at least once a day. I know sometimes it doesn't work out, but I do it as often as possible. This is a guy, House Republican, Tim Burchett. Now it says the nonpartisan CBO he championed at least 3 times is very partisan. So I'm not going to play the whole thing. I just want to play a minute or so here for you. But this guy gets very heated. He gets caught in basically his own lies. That's what these dudes are doing. The Republicans who are fully on board, the Mike Johnsons, the J.D. Vance, your usual bunch of clowns. And you know what? I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't insult people. But it's basically you kind of see who's who cares about you, who cares about themselves and their pockets and their bottom line. Pretty easy once you just actually pay a little bit of attention. But this clip I found funny. So I'm just going to play a little for you, and as always, I'll link it in the description. And enjoy.
Taking issue with the CBO estimate here.
Yes, ma'am, I do have an issue with it. The office is very partisan. I mean, 85% of the people in their healthcare division identify as a Democrat, or they've contributed to Democrats, or they're registered Democrats. They're leading, I believe their leading economist is that. We ought to do away with these organizations because we use them when we like them. We don't use them when we don't like them. And then you've got a bunch of bureaucrats in here that are on a lifetime gravy train. And frankly, we've got independent agencies that can do that. We have people up here with accounting degrees that can do the math. So I feel like that is a waste of taxpayers' money.
It's rich.
So in January 2024, there was a Republican who trusted the CBO so much that they reintroduced a resolution to require the House clerk to read the CBO estimate of any bill. I believe that was you, sir, the third time you introduced that resolution. Is that right?
Well,
that's correct, ma'am. Of course, and that proves.
But you don't like the CBO now,
ma'am.
Also, guys, water, now vodka. I started drinking diet. As I said, I lost a little bit of weight, and then we have actually home delivery water. So I use these bottles to refill and walk around instead of plastic cups or just washing cups and leaving them around, which I'm pretty bad at. So and don't worry, I use a day, maybe two, and then I throw them out. I know keeping these around for too long is very bad for our health, but just an FYI.
But you don't like the CBO now. You introduced that resolution over multiple years, but now you're dissing the CBO.
Did the bill pass?
What does it matter?
Your resolution?
Did the bill pass? Yes, ma'am.
What does it matter?
You introduced it, sir.
I know,
It's
ma'am,
irrelevant.
But did it pass?
Right.
They never pass because nobody wants any verification. It proves my point. When it serves us well,
you took a stance and you were
we're for it, but when it doesn't, we don't. So
you're clear about where you are on the CBO. I just want to say, but just to get to where you said earlier, that you were closer to voting yes.
Great job by this lady.
I'm
guessing this
I
is
saw
Brianna.
the vice president sent you put a nice tweet up that you responded to. What did the president say to you that made you feel maybe closer to voting yes?
He talked about the economic output that we would have that was not in the CBO scores, and along those lines, he talked about other things that I'm not going to share, but because it was in
he said he's going to fire you.
I think there's a lot of things that probably be revealed when this is passed, and I think America will embrace it further. I think, again, once you
anyway, there's more to it. Overall, it's pretty good back and forth. Again, I would recommend you watch it just for laughs. Especially if you're interested in this kind of stuff. But even if you're not, just to get yourself educated on how these people are just lying straight to our faces. And again, it's both sides. I want to make that clear. But when it comes to this bill, these people are just animals, tearing the American people apart for their own benefit. It seems like, again, with the bill, we'll see how the bill actually does. Again, I know there's some positive provisions in there for sure, but it seems like the majority of the bill really helps the rich, keeps the middle, the poor down in general. So that's that. Song of the day, Vaccination by Hermes the God, with that Mexican OT and Twisted Black. Now, I'll be honest with you, I believe this is one of the first songs I've heard by Hermes. That Mexican OT is a guy who one of my friends put me on to maybe a year and a half ago. He's very hit or miss. He's got a unique style. He's got the fast rap kind of, sort of like a Twisted mix for those of you that do know hip hop. Twisted Black I had never heard of before until this song, and not a big fan, to be honest. Overall, the song's okay, but I just figured, hey, it's not terrible. I heard it. Let's give Hermes a chance to shine, and that Mexican OT is kind of dude that I don't mind every once in a while. I'll give you a listen to him real quick, and then as always, I'll link it in the description. Enjoy. if you can hear it or not, because I'm not hearing it. So I don't know if you can hear it. Well, either way, description will be in the link. It does say, let's see, how about now? No, I don't know. See, it's got the muted here. I don't know, it's because I guess I'm streaming, so I'm learning, guys. If you're not able to hear it, that's on me. I'm learning. I know not to play it for you again. It's a good pause right there. Anyway, give it a listen. Like I said, Twisted Black, maybe have 1 bar, 2 bars, maybe that I didn't mind. Overall, not my favorite. Not somebody I'm going to be looking for. You know, obviously, if he's out there, we'll take a look. But yeah, enjoy the holiday. Always a pleasure speaking to you. Thank you for tuning in, and have a good one.